What's up guys? Today I want to talk about an idea I see becoming more and more popular nowadays online, the idea that bulking is vaulted. It's coming from a lot of science-based lifters, which probably just means I read an abstract and ran with it, or more likely, I regurgitated somebody else's info word for word. Now, the same piece of literature they all cite was this study, and I want to talk about why it doesn't really say bulking is vaulted, and go into the evidence more, then give some practical bulking advice. So basically, the study had three groups: a maintenance group, a small surplus group, and a large surplus group. They tested their 1 rep max on the bench and the squat, and they measured muscle growth in the biceps, triceps, and quads. And the results basically showed bulking only benefited biceps muscle thickness and bench press 1 rep max. And the majority of excess mass gained was just fat. Now, ignoring the fact it does still indicate some benefit of bulking there, vaulting bulking from this study is pretty stupid when you look at it in a bit more detail. But first, speaking of details, Odyssey bench mats really help you with the details of building your bench. They provide friction to help your leg drive. Especially good in more commercial gym settings like I have, these have been huge for my bench progress. You can get one for 10% off with code MATVENA, all one word, link in the description and pinned comment. Thank you to Odyssey. Anyways, back to the study that supposedly vaults bulking. The two sites that didn't show benefits from bulking, quads and triceps, they didn't grow at all from baseline in any of the groups. So if you're gonna bulk bulking from this studies, you should really say that lifting doesn't make muscles grow at all based on the results. The authors of the study did indicate this was likely due to the fact that the protocol wasn't stimulated enough to grow muscle in the trained lifters taking part in the study. In the one muscle, they did seem to stimulate enough to spur growth. They found better growth from bulking, implying with more stimulating programs, there is a benefit to bulking. We also have to keep in mind the study only ran for 8 weeks with just 17 participants. If you're gonna vault bulking based on a study with those characteristics, you're the one who should be vaulted. Now, despite the study not exactly proving that bulking is useless, we should still look at a claim from a steelman perspective. What evidence do we have that bulking does enhance muscle growth? Well, this meta-analysis looked at caloric deficit rates and their effects on lean mass. They do show that lower calories lead to less lean body mass gains. And past the point, you even seem to lose muscle. It's also been shown that higher body fat percentages seem to spare muscle loss while cutting. This implies that energy availability does play a role in protein metabolism and how much muscle we're building or losing. However, this wasn't direct evidence of actual caloric surpluses affecting muscle growth, but we do have evidence of that as well. Like I said, this original study did find that it helped the biceps. This study had bodybuilders do a small or large surplus, and those in the large surplus group gained more muscle on average. And this study had bodybuilders go into a surplus and correlated total weight gain to muscle gain. More weight gain was associated with more muscle gain. So clearly, at the very least, we have some evidence that higher caloric intakes will benefit muscle growth. But the big caveat we still have here is most of the growth, regardless of the conditions, from bulking seems to be excess fat mass. So what does that mean practically? Well, first off, if you're just looking to maximize muscle growth and strength gain in a given period of time, bulking is going to be more beneficial. For example, I compete in a weight class sport. I compete in the 120 kilo division, and I'm trying to win my national championships coming up. And I'm going to try and fill out my class as much as I can, knowing most of my weight gain is not going to be muscle, it's going to be fat. The fat still helps me lift more and can help my leverages. However, for people who don't have short-term performance goals like this, or who are trying to gain as much mass as possible while still staying below some level of leanness that is comfortable for them, you're going to want to go for a smaller surplus. The small decrease in muscle gain that may come with will be worth it in the long run for not accreting so much fat, but we still have to wonder, what rate of gain should we go for here? Now, do we know what rate of bulking is going to lead to no excess fat mass gain? No. And anybody who claims to know just is pulling numbers out of their ass. We don't have the data on the subject. But practically speaking, in my anecdotes coaching a few hundred people over the years and my experience of over a decade of lifting and gaining over 100 pounds in that time, I would recommend a 250 calorie surplus, about a half pound per week rate of gain. You simply aren't going to gain much fat even if this is above the optimal range here. We're only gaining like 2 pounds per month here, right? We're not going to get super fat, at least not very quickly, and we can easily control it before it gets to a bad point. And like I said, this is a good practical measure point because as we all know, there's going to be water weight fluctuations, gut content fluctuations. Our weight can go up a couple pounds day to day with no real changes in our actual mass of our body. So this rate of gain of about 2 pounds per month is probably around the low end of what you're going to be able to detect through the noise here. You're going to want to make sure you're consistent with yourself naked every morning before eating or drinking anything and after using the bathroom. And I like to look at the trend in weight for at least 2 weeks, if not a whole month, before making adjustments to my calories, unless there's like really obvious spikes or deficits here. We just want to make sure we're not overly reacting again to fluctuations in gut content or water weight. Actual changes in mass is what we're looking for here. So that's basically it. Surpluses enhance muscle growth. Most of it's probably excess fat, so don't go full bloat lord. I hope this video was helpful. See the description and pin comment where to contact me for coaching and programs, my socials, links to Odyssey benchmats, and all studies cited in this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.